Tonight on Here and Now, one pair's transatlantic adventure in a big balloon goes bust in Central.
A British couple attempting to cross the Atlantic in a hot air balloon are grounded here in Gander following an unscheduled landing in the interior of the province and an early morning rescue.
It's a mystery what can have gone wrong.
We'll have that story tonight on Here and Now.
Taking advantage of local ponds and swimming holes like I am doing right now here in George's Pond, halfway up Signal Hill. We stopped by another one. I'll have more on this story coming up.
I approached 3 different cab drivers within a few minute period on Adelaide Street, and all 3 denied me access.
Any lessons learned? That disabilities advocate says a local cab company still won't accommodate customers with service animals.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. A British couple is recovering in Gander following a failed attempt to cross the Atlantic in a hot air balloon. They were forced to land after leaving Sussex, New Brunswick yesterday. Troy Turner has this report.
Is it going on?
They were supposed to be over the North Atlantic by now. But 19 hours after takeoff, Deborah and Mike Scholes were forced to land after a technical problem.
I woke up at about 4 o'clock UK time, and Geronimo, they were all talking about where should we land and not sure what's wrong. And so I was trying to catch up on all the WhatsApp messages from the mission control.
The balloon left from Sussex, New Brunswick on Thursday, destined for Europe. However, the lighter-than-air aircraft was forced to land in a remote area of central Newfoundland early this morning.
And it was quite a boggy area, a lot of ponds, lakes, I don't know what you call them. And she carried on, it got lower and lower, and eventually the tracker said 0 forward motion, and she'd landed.
The 103 Search and Rescue Squadron out of Gander was called just after midnight last night. It reached the balloon while in the air, but the Scholes told them on radio there wasn't enough light to land. At sunrise, the Cormorant helicopter again traveled to meet the balloon and watched as it landed on a bog near Mealpeg Lake.
It was an enormous relief when I learned that Mike and Deborah were in a helicopter on the way to Gander, where they are now. And so it's a mystery what can have gone wrong. So I'm looking forward to when we get through to them to find out what it was.
According to the spokesperson for the couple, their spirits may be dampened today, but they will be back again flying in the future. Troy Turner, CBC News, Gander.
Well, St. John's Retirement Center is finding ways to beat this heat. They've been resorting to fun and games to do it. Residents and staff at Westbury Estates say it's especially important for seniors to keep cool. We dropped by to get some advice.
I was saying that to somebody the other day. Growing up, the heat was never like this. This is different. It's dead heat. That kind of heat really affects you. And as for many seniors, stuff that they could normally do themselves, they're having to get help for that. But luckily at Westbury, the staff is fabulous.
We're certainly doing the water games. So we've had some balloon fights, water gun fights. They've done bean toss outside in the shaded area, so it's been nice. Our elderly population is at more severe risk of coming down with heat exhaustion due to this, chronic medical conditions that they have. But not only that, the body doesn't cool itself down on its own as we age. Hydration is the biggest piece that we can do. So whether it's through water, water is the best, but taking in other avenues as well. So increasing your fruits, the fruits with the juices, so your grapes and your oranges. Popsicles and Mr. Freezies all day long. The electrolyte Mr. Freezies, so the Pedialytes, even though they're recommended for kids, they're great for adults as well. So we want to increase the water intake, but also being able to recognize the signs of heat exhaustion. So if you notice that someone's complaining that they're more dizzy or they're more nauseated, they're probably slipping into heat exhaustion. So getting the fluids on board early is key so that we can keep them out of the hospital. Nobody wants to go to the hospital when it's 30 degrees heat, particularly our elderly, because of course you're far more at risk to pick up any other infection while you're there.
We're hearing about climate change all the time, and which is, we kind of knew was coming, but I don't think we really expected it to, it's the kind of thing I think you say to yourself, well, that's going to happen down the road, maybe 50 years from now. But we're seeing it today. And I was watching TV the other day, and I mean, there are actually roads that are, melting because of the heat. And this is amazing, and this is our world. So, and it's more amazing to me that people aren't listening now and, trying to reduce the things that contribute to climate change. But I said, hopefully, over the next few years, people will take this more seriously. We have to do something.
Well, it's not just seniors looking for ways to beat the heat this week. And as you just heard, one popular way is cooling off in the water. Swimming holes, lakes, and ponds have been really hot spots lately for a quick, fun way to cool off. And Jeremy Eaton has been having his share of fun today. He's out in George's Pond near Signal Hill. So, Jeremy, how are you coping with these sweltering temperatures? And
so by all accounts, I would say there's close to maybe 50 people here in George's Pond. We're halfway up Signal Hill. This is a popular swimming hole, but it's not the only one, but it's easily accessible by a lot of people here in the downtown area of St. John's. But earlier today, I stopped by another popular swimming pond. That's Healy's Pond. Some people know it as Sunshine Camp there in Portugal Cove, St. Philip's. And rather than stand on the shore like a regular reporter, I decided to wade in the water and chat to some of the swimmers about how they're feeling about this heat we've been experiencing. Just take a look at this. Woo! What's it like to be able to pop out here into this pond on a hot day like today?
Oh, this is life. I grew up in here. My grandfather lived up on the top of the hill when he was alive, so this is my sanctuary.
Me and my mom were just going out to the beach.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she took the day off, so here we are.
What have you been doing this week to try to stay cool?
Here in the water. And we also have like a little sprinkler and a dog pool for our dog, and that's what we do.
How nice is this for you and your mom to be out here on a Friday floating in some unicorns?
It is amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better.
What's your favorite thing to do here in the pond?
I like swimming and catching the fish and then releasing them.
Oh, how many fish did you catch today?
Today, probably 37 already.
Sorry, 37?
37, yes.
Whoa, that's a lot of fish. And it's been so hot this week. How nice is it to be able to come out here and jump in this nice pond?
It's very nice. I've only been here once, and it was a really long time ago. But it's nice to come back. It's really nice.
Just having a swim.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weather's been good for it lately, so I can't complain.
What difference does it make to be able to come out here and be able to hop into Healy's Pond here at Sunshine Camp given the hot weather we've had this week?
It's way better, I think, because if it's indoor pool or anything like that, there's rules and regulations, so it's kind of like just coming in and just jumping in. It's the way to go.
Are you swimming?
Yes.
Are you staying cool?
I don't know how to swim, but I'm learning how to.
Oh my goodness, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. This past few days have been sweltering, so to come out here today and have a nice breeze and then get out in the unicorns, it's great.
I noticed you got your hair wet, but your daughter looks pretty dry. Will you flip her over later?
Oh, I'm going to splash her before we get in for sure.
If I knew her better, I'd give it a go.
I mean, this is like my second time this week, but only because it's like summer, so like it probably like 5 times.
So on a hot week like it's been, you've come here twice. How nice is it to be able to cool, chill out, and relax in a nice pond like Healy's Pond?
Oh, really nice, yeah. My pond, like I live, there's like a pond behind my house kind of, and it's connected to here, and it's really nice to just be able to get in the pond and cool down.
Well, I've been swimming a lot and coming here a lot, like just trying to cool down. Mm-hmm.
Is it working? Are you getting cooled down when you get in here?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do when you come here?
Probably catch fish and just swim around.
What's your favorite part about coming to this pond?
I'm going under the water.
Can you show Danny, the camera guy, how you go under the water? Here, I'll get out of the way so we can see you go under the water, okay? There we go. So as you can see, my little flamingo has found some flamingo and unicorn friends. I just got to ask, how long have you been out in the water here today, man?
About 2 hours today.
And what's it like to be able to swim in here, just at the base of Signal Hill? What's it been like for you in the Georges Pond today?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's such a nice day out today. It's great to get out here and, just cool off.
And well, we certainly have done that. Appreciate your time. Thanks for staying in the shot so we can have a few flamingos and a unicorn. I'm going to chat to a few more swimmers in this pond about swimming in Georges Pond, which is something you weren't able to do until a couple of years ago. Reporting live from in the water. Not many people can say that. I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
And Jeremy's having a great time there in the water, and there was a lot of water in Corner Brook as well. They saw tremendously heavy rainfall last evening near the downtown. 52.6 millimeters fell in just 2 hours between 6 and 8 p.m. Environment Canada tells me they issue a rainfall warning when that much is expected over 24 hours. So really rare to see that much rainfall so quickly, according to meteorologists. And you can see here from this graphic, this is courtesy of Rodney Barney with Environment Canada. You can see that 52.6 millimeters near the downtown in Corner Brook, 47.2 in another part of town, and more than 40 in another part of town just near the Grenfell campus. So a lot of rain fell in Corner Brook very quickly last night. As you can see here, no more heat warnings. It's still warm, of course, but the heat warnings are gone. We are just sitting underneath that criteria now. Talking about the weather that is on the way. Like I said, no heat warning anymore, but the south coast will see some showers tonight, and the south and west coast will see some drizzle tomorrow. We'll talk about all that coming up a little later in the show.
Thanks, Heather. Well, fishermen needed rescuing this week in the waters off this province. The Joint Rescue Coordination Center says on Wednesday they hoisted an injured fisherman from a boat 150 kilometers north of St. Anthony. A helicopter from the Search and Rescue Squadron in Gander responded. After the person was taken on board, they were delivered safely to the hospital in Gander. Well, two women are speaking out about what happened in the Illusiwak Cultural Center in Nain on Monday. They say what the people inside experienced doesn't fit with Nunatsiavut's investigation so far. The Nunatsiavut government says their investigation has found no evidence of a fire. CBC's Heidi Adder has more.
Clouds were seen billowing out of the Illusiwak in Nain on Monday. Tracy Deniston was in the Illusiwak Theatre, Nancy Winters in the back offices. The two women say everything changed in a matter of seconds. First, 3 bangs, then the fire alarm. Third, a white cloud of smoke. Lastly, the smell of wires burning, plastic burning, and a thick black smoke.
We couldn't see anything from the smoke. Like we didn't know where to go. Like it was awful.
Deniston and Winters are speaking on behalf of the 18 people who were inside. The Illusiwak opened in 2019 after the last cultural center burned down. It's meant to showcase Nunatsiavut Inuit culture. It houses Inuit artifacts and displays historic photographs. Deniston says 3 people clearly saw sparks and flames coming from the ceiling of the theater as the alarm sounded. Nunatsiavut said on Tuesday that their internal investigation found no evidence of a fire.
It's conflicting our story of what our group had actually witnessed, so we don't know what really happened. And if there was a fire, we don't know if the suppression system actually worked and put the fire out.
Deniston and Winters want to see the investigation's final report shared publicly. The women say they're having trouble sleeping, continuing to cough and feel the effects of the chemicals or smoke, and leaning on each other for support.
And I'm not saying this in a harsh or ugly way, but yes, the building is still standing and the artifacts, according to the news release, is protected, but our human lives are more important than any building or artifact, which I feel has not been a priority in what's been relayed.
Nunatsiavut says they are assembling a large team to do an in-depth investigation. The government says a final report will be produced. Mental health support is available for those who were inside. Heidi Adder, CBC News, Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
A disability rights advocate says another human rights violation suggests a St. John's taxi company has not learned from its past mistakes. This spring, the Human Rights Commission sanctioned Citywide Taxi a second time for denying rides to customers with service dogs. Here Now's Mark Quinn reports.
Some forms of discrimination are a lot more nuanced and more difficult to actually prove. This is not.
Anne Malone wasn't surprised this spring when the Human Rights Commission found Citywide was wrong to deny rides to a person with a service dog again.
Often these cases are kind of a slam dunk. I mean, it happened and it shouldn't happen. So they're not usually hard to argue and win.
More than 10 years ago, a number of Citywide taxis denied Malone, who is vision impaired, and her service dog rides in downtown St. John's.
I approached 3 different cab drivers within a few minute period on Adelaide Street, and all 3 denied me access.
Malone complained to the Human Rights Commission, and it ruled that Citywide had violated her rights. She was awarded damages, and Citywide was ordered to give employees disability awareness training. But Malone doesn't believe Citywide has changed, and she doesn't want its violations to be seen as isolated cases.
It happened to me again, same company, at St. John's Airport last May.
Malone says it's vital that everyone can trust taxi drivers.
As a person who has very little eyesight, I really enter into an unspoken contract of trust when I get into an enclosed vehicle with a stranger, right, and ask him to take me somewhere. As a kind of financial transaction, because first of all, I can't see where I'm going. I can't see that person's face.
Last month, Citywide owner Peter Gulliver told CBC the company takes the accessibility requirements of its passengers very seriously. He hasn't returned CBC's calls since. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
A Ukrainian firefighter who fled his war-torn country is now calling Brook home. 34-year-old Stanislav Baranov and his family arrived in Newfoundland and Labrador in the spring. He was a firefighter in Ukraine for 14 years, and now he's a part of the city's fire department. Baranov spoke with Here and Now at the fire station with the help of an interpreter.
My name is Stanislav. I am a firefighter. Очень нравится и хочу остаться здесь, работать, продолжать службу здесь.
He really likes it and he wants to stay here and continue to serve.
Мне ребята помогают.
The guys from here help him a lot, and he really likes the city because he came from the small city as well in Ukraine, so he really enjoys it.
Я видел многое.
So he was seeing a lot of different things. They were rescuing people under destroyed buildings, and some of them were alive, some of them weren't. So a lot of different stuff happened there. So on the territory where he's from, the military conflict lasts around 9 years already. And for these 9 years, he was participating in this actively, obviously as a firefighter, rescuing people, delivering water supplies. The actual thing that might have happened to him is his family. So he was thinking about protecting his family all the time, and he was living apart from them for the last months after they decided to leave the country because they didn't see any future for their kids. And then he decided to follow them, obviously. His wife did a little bit of research, and they decided to move here. So she moved here, and then he followed them.
We wanted to make sure that the firefighter's skill set was compatible with the skills in North America. And of course, we had to look at too that the city is working under collective agreement. So we had to make sure that we met both requirements. So in moving forward, we were able to come up with a package that the province could support and the city could financially support as well. So we were able to get approval for a program to bring Stanis on for 42 weeks to enable him to get the validation of his training to be able to write the North American exams.
Относятся ко мне очень хорошо.
So they treat him very well, and yeah, they really like appreciate him, I would say. Like they help him out and stuff, like trying to help translating stuff sometimes.
Well, more medals to tell you about from the North American Indigenous Games. The under-19 men's volleyball team came away with a silver medal in this game against New Brunswick. The girls' beach team, though, are coming back with a gold medal after beating Saskatchewan. Right now, the athletes from Newfoundland and Labrador have 8 gold medals, 13 silvers, and 15 bronze. Well, there are 7 new people receiving the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador. The Lieutenant Governor announced the awards today. On the list are Dr. Pat Parfrey, Dr. Kevin Melvin for their work in healthcare. Noreen Golfman, who was provost at Memorial University, is also on the list. Andrus Voigt will receive it for his environmental work, David Elms for volunteerism, and from the arts, painter Jean-Claude Waugh and TV comedian Rick Mercer will all be honored. They'll receive the award in October.
And while the temperatures have backed off a little bit, look at Bonavista. 30 degrees. It reached 40 there with the Humidex today for the first time. We'll tell you all about that and more coming up.
Look, he's hooked. He just bit us. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Check out this incredible encounter with a great white in New Brunswick. Andrew Jones was fishing on the Bay of Fundy with friends Thursday when they spotted a shark circling their boat. Jones managed to take this video, and he says the shark looked him right in the eye.
Wow, and he thinks it was as big as 12 feet. One ocean explorer says it's a mature female and that it's not unusual to see sharks in the area.
Wow, that was up close and personal for sure.
Indeed it was. Very cool.
So Heather, the weekend is here. The weather is great outside. What's in store for us?
Well, you know, it looks like we should get some showers in some spots in the overnight, possibly tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to talk about some new temperature records. Of course, we set another one, and that was in Mary's Harbor yesterday. It was 30.6 degrees, breaking the old record of 30 degrees. That was set in 2020. And there's another record that I would like to tell you about. According to Rodney Barney, who's a meteorologist with Environment Canada, he says it hit 30 degrees in Bonavista today, feeling like 40 with the humidex, and it is the first time it felt like 40 there with the humidex. So another record there. And something else we can talk about, it looks like there was a funnel cloud spotted yesterday in Deer Lake. I don't have a picture of it to show you, but Environment Canada tells me they were looking at the radar and they confirmed that it could possibly be a funnel cloud out in Deer Lake yesterday. It didn't touch the ground, so it wasn't a tornado. The difference is the funnel cloud is still that shape of cloud twirling in the air, but it actually didn't touch the ground. Now let's take a look at today's high, like I was talking about. 30 in Bonavista, also 30 today in Mary's Harbor, 28 in St. John's, and 29 in Terra Nova and Badger, cooling off a little bit in Stephenville and Port aux Basques there on that part of the south and southwest coast. Still in the mid 20s to the upper 20s along the coast in Labrador for the most part, and 29 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, cooling off to 20 and 22 in Labrador City and Wabush and Churchill Falls there. Still warm with the humidex. You see that 40 there for Bonavista, feeling like 34 here in St. John's. Still pretty warm, even though we are just shy of that heat warning now. Now, look at the temperature change there. So up 4 degrees in Bonavista and Gander today, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, but no change here in St. John's or in Deer Lake and St. Anthony. Now, as we look at the fire index with all of that warm weather we've been having, especially here in southern Labrador, extreme fire warning here on the hazard map, and it is very high and high in other places of the province. So do be careful if you are out camping or enjoying the outdoors this weekend. Taking a look at our future tracker now, we're going to pick up some showers along the south coast of the province today, 5 to 10 as much in Burgeo and this part of the south coast, but we could see some showers and drizzle along the Burin Peninsula and the southern part of the Avalon. And as we go into the overnight, it looks like it's going to be pretty similar there with some clouds moving overhead. And as we go into Saturday, we could pick up some more showers spreading towards the west coast and on up the northern peninsula. We'll move on into Saturday evening. It looks very similar there as well. Taking a look at tonight, 18 in St. John's and Gander, chance of showers on the east side of things, partly cloudy in central and in the west coast, and there you go, you see that chance of showers or drizzle there for Marystown and Port aux Basques at 16 degrees. Cooler overnight temps tonight, finally down off the 20-degree mark like we were talking about, so hopefully you had a more comfortable sleep last night and you'll have a more comfortable one again there. As we head up into Cartwright, still 18 is your low in the overnight, but cooler in Nain and in Labrador City, where you could also see some showers tonight. For a future tracker there, as we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll still see those showers and they'll spread towards the southwest coast and on up the west coast and northern peninsula. Looking at the winds now, it looks like they'll be pretty calm in the overnight, but as we head into tomorrow, we could see in the wreck house some gusts to 60 in that orange spot there. So you could see some gusty winds tomorrow in that area of our province. Taking a closer look at tomorrow now, for St. John's, it'll feel like 26 with the humidex for us tomorrow. bit cooler along the south coast, like we saw all that drizzle there in the future tracker. For Marystown, 24, feeling like 32 with the Humidex, feeling like 35 in Bonavista. You'll get a little reprieve there. As we head into central, your temps should be 25, 26 tomorrow, feeling anywhere from 32 to 35 with your Humidex. For the west coast, temperatures looking sort of similar with 5 to 10 possible for the southwest coast. Mid-20s for the west coast, cooling off just a touch in Port au Choix, but picking back up into the low 20s there for St. Anthony and the Straits. But again, very warm in southern Labrador, up to 32 with that Humidex. Cool in Nain and Makkovik tomorrow, in the 20s for Happy Valley Goose Bay, feeling like 28 with your Humidex, picking up some showers possibly though in western Labrador. We'll have your long range coming up.
We've chatted to a bunch of people who are swimming in the water, but for many, easing into it isn't part of the fun. Jumping into it is.
Well, we've been talking all week about ways to beat this hot, humid summer heat. And earlier, you saw dozens of people on the Avalon flocking to ponds and swimming spots, including our own Jeremy Eaton, who's halfway up Signal Hill tonight at George's Pond, loving the Barbie-inspired hot pink swimwear, very on trend. So, Jeremy, how busy is the pond this evening?
Well, you know, sometimes you get the good assignments and sometimes you get the great assignments, and this is one of those, right? The sun is pouring into my face. I'm sitting in a pond halfway up scenic Signal Hill, and it's a beautiful night. I'd say there have been people coming and going for the entire time that I've been here at George's Pond, which, as I said earlier, you weren't allowed to swim in to begin with a couple years ago, but they've since changed those rules, and so there's a lot of people taking advantage of it. A lot of people with their pups, a lot of inflatable toys. There's even some paddle boarders out there. I was told on Wednesday night that there was about 80 people who have showed up here. I said by my best count, at the maximum here, I'd say there are about 50 people here, including a new friend of mine that I just met, Emily. Emily, you got to look at Mark now so you can see yourself. So, Emily, where are you from?
I'm from Winnipeg.
So what do you do? What are you doing sitting here in a pond in George's Lake in St. John's? Sorry, George's Pond in St. John's.
Well, my cousin used to live here, but he moved away, so we're just visiting here.
Normally it's not as hot as it's been this week, so what have you been doing to sort of cool off while you've been in St. John's?
Well, we went to the boat, on a boat, and we saw dolphins and puffins and whales and stuff.
So how did you find out about this pond here? This is sort of a little bit of a secret. Not many tourists would come swimming here. How did you find out about this?
Well, we went up there and we saw the pond and we saw people swim, so we decided to come here.
And what's it been like being able to enjoy, so you have beautiful, scenic, historic Signal Hill here, but you're able to sit in the water here and get out of the sunshine. How has that been for you today?
It's been good.
Been good? You've been good. Thanks so much for your time. I'm going to stand up. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you. We're going to see. Oh, I found another friend. Somebody said, are you going to take the tank top off? And I said, no, I want to keep my job. And I think if I had the tank top off, we'd get a lot of viewer complaints. Josie, correct? Josie, how old are you?
8.
Now, you have a lot of dry hair, Josie. Have you been in the water yet?
No.
No? Why is that? Not working out for you? No. So why did you want to come here? Today's been a really hot day. It's been a really hot week. Why did you want to come here and do some swimming here today?
My sister wanted to come here to swim.
And your sister was supposed to talk to us, but George has given up, eh? She gave up.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing the last couple of days to sort of beat the heat? Because it's been hot here. Like, I know that you're from here, and I know your mom, that it's been hot. So what have you been doing to try to beat the heat?
We got a slip and slide at our house in a pool, so we've been playing outside.
Would you be mad if I splashed you? No, you think? Do you think that'll be okay? Let me see if I can. I'm just gonna wait out here. Yeah. So, anyways, fellas, really quick, how's your dog enjoying the pool? The weather out here today?
She's learning. She's learning. She's trying to love it.
Well, these guys love it. Most people who are in here are loving it. I'm sort of loving it. Reporting live from George's Pond, just near Signal Hill, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
We tried to get a cake topper for the wedding cake. Of course, in 2003, there were no cake toppers that had 2 guys on the top.
Before we get to your birthday and anniversary greetings, we'll be bringing you this couple's story. It's on display right now at the rooms. That's just ahead. Well, in honor of the St. John's Pride celebrations, we're bringing you a story of one of the province's first gay couples to get married. Back in 2003, when Ontario legalized same-sex marriage, Robert Power and David Philpott jumped on a plane. When they returned, people in the city were surprised and delighted, but they still couldn't buy a same-sex cake topper. Their story is now an exhibit at the Rooms celebrating Newfoundland and Labrador weddings. Have a look.
Yeah, at the time, we never thought it was going to be possible. I mean, neither of us in our lives imagined that we would be able to, marry a man. I'm very aware that 22-year-olds and younger can't remember a time when two men couldn't get married. We're living in changing times, and it's a wonderful thing. Hi, my name is David Philpott.
And I'm Robert Power.
And this year, we're celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary.
We were one of the first gay couples to be married, legally married, in Newfoundland.
You're looking at our wedding picture, our wedding rings, our marriage certificate.
And our cake topper.
And our cake topper from our wedding on October the 17th in 2003, which we think was one of the first marriages here in Newfoundland at the time. It was still illegal here in the province.
Well, it became legal in Ontario in June of 2003. So we figured we were going to be together for the rest of our lives, so why not?
We tried to do it quietly. We didn't tell a lot of people. It was an elopement. Very few people knew that we were going off that weekend. But when we got back, word started to creep out, and people were thrilled for us. We couldn't contain the excitement.
And for the wedding reception that we had, my mother baked the wedding cake for us, which was very cool. She said, I did one for your brother and one for your sister. I'm doing one for you. And we had it decorated at Stockwood's Bakery, which was just up around the corner from where we lived. And we tried to get a cake topper for the wedding cake. Of course, in 2003, there were no cake toppers that had two guys on the top. So I ended up making one. I had to buy two ushers, two groomsmen, okay? And I glued them side by side next to each other. And when we went to pick it up...
Oh, it was hilarious. We went in and said, we're here for the Philpott Power cake. And suddenly, all of the people from the kitchen came up and stood around. It was their first same-sex cake, so they were as proud of the cake as they were happy for us.
That photograph was taken in City Hall in Toronto. It doesn't feel like 20 years ago. It
looks like 20 years ago.
It looks like 20 years ago.
At the time, we did it. Same reason everyone else did it. We're at a point in our relationship where we wanted to get married, and we could. But we knew that by doing so, it would be a political statement. It would be a controversial thing to do, and it would be a groundbreaking thing to do. So the following year, following December, it was legalized here in Newfoundland, and we started to get invited to weddings here in St. John's, stood up at weddings for friends of ours.
And then by 2005, it was legal right across Canada.
Today, in 2023, we're included in this display here at the Rooms, which speaks volumes about the values of the Rooms and the work that they're doing here to think to include us.
And my parents are in a video in the display here too, from their wedding in 1952. It's amazing to have gone from that to including a same-sex married couple in an exhibit in one generation. Now, meantime, after 20 years of wearing a wedding ring, it's really weird walking around without one on. When we loaned them to the Rooms, it was the first time that they had come off in the 20 years since we put them on. It felt very weird.
It is weird. When I look at the picture, I remember the emotion of that day. I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm at a point in my life where I can marry a man. Oh my God, I live in a country where it can happen. Like, I was so aware of the history of it and the moment, and personally as well as, societally. So when I see that picture, I remember that moment.
Oh, that's so lovely. Well, again, their story is part of a new exhibit at the Rooms about Newfoundland and Labrador weddings. And speaking of which, your birthday and anniversary announcements are coming up just after the break. Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 63rd anniversary to Lawrence and Marina Penny of Lewisport. Congratulations to George and Doris Fudge of Francois. They are celebrating their 54th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Tom and Edna Tulk. They're marking 63 years together. Happy 57th anniversary to Thomas and Verna Moulton of St. John's. It's a golden anniversary for Frank and Cora Douglas of Grand Bank. Wishing Doug and Rosalind Stanley of Clarenville a happy 50th anniversary. Best wishes going out to Dawn and Marg Aylward of Corner Brook, who are celebrating their 57th anniversary. Congratulations to Max and Shirley Stacy of Badger, who are celebrating 53 years of marriage. Happy 65th anniversary to George and Janet Jarrett of Brigus, now living in St. John's. It's a 54th anniversary for Gordon and Marilyn Lee of Hare Bay. Congratulations to Jack and Glennie Stuckless of Badger, now living in Springdale. It's their 62nd anniversary. Happy 64th anniversary to Reg and Lucy Parsons of Woody Point, Bond Bay. Wishing Carl and Ruth Gowdy of Deer Lake a happy 65th anniversary. Happy 58th anniversary to Bob and Gay White of Carmenville. Anniversary greetings going out to Michael and Patsy Tremblett of North Harbor, St. Mary's Bay. It's their 50th anniversary. Congratulations to Ray and Madonna Gulliver of Paradise. They've been married for 59 years. Happy anniversary to Bob and Bernice Clark. They're marking 50 years of marriage. Pearl and Joe Kiley from Gaskers, St. Mary's Bay are celebrating their 60th anniversary. Happy 58th anniversary to Barbara and Doug Power of Freshwater, Placentia Bay. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Gertie and Keith House of Galtus, now living in Little Bay. Happy 51st anniversary tomorrow to Frank and Rose Pierce of Musgrave Harbor. Wishing Michael and Diane Clements of Mount Pearl a happy 57th anniversary. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Larry and Brenda Reed. Congratulations to Gerald and Rowena Smith of Dildo. It's their 56th anniversary today. Happy anniversary to Mansell and Margaret King. Their 71st wedding anniversary is tomorrow. They're from Burnt Islands and now live in Heart's Delight. Happy 50th anniversary to Debbie and Maurice Oliver of Gull Island. Wishing Kevin and Terry Sharp of Torbay a happy 51st anniversary tomorrow. Happy 65th anniversary today to Brian and Peg Shea of Appleton. Congratulations to Janice and Nelson Eason. It's their 50th anniversary. Now to some birthdays. Lillian Elson is celebrating her 94th birthday. She's from Cartwright and now lives in Mary's Harbor. Happy 91st birthday to Edgar Penny of Corner Brook. And it's a 90th birthday for Millard Young of Three Rock Cove, now living in Kippens. Happy birthday to Edgar Sevier of Lawrencetown, who just turned 90. Happy 91st birthday to Ray Cooper of Queens Cove. Happy 94th birthday to Teresa O'Brien of St. John's. Wishing Noah Compton of Roddickton a happy 90th birthday. Happy 96th birthday to Melvin King of Gander. Best wishes going out to Pearl Shepherd from Stag Harbor, Fogo Island, who's celebrating her 95th birthday. And very special birthday greetings going out to Jesuit Father William Brown, who turns 95 today. Happy 92nd birthday to Mary Corbett of Holyrood. She celebrates today. Happy 99th birthday tomorrow to Eunice Antle in Paradise. Birthday greetings going out to Winnie Crocker, who turns 102 on Sunday. She's from Swift Current and now lives in Clarenville. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. So many people celebrating. I'm celebrating that the weekend is here. You probably are too.
I am too.
A lot of people are. Yeah. And it seems like a really nice weekend, especially tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice for everyone except for the South Coast and the West Coast tomorrow night. You'll see a few showers. Everywhere else, probably like cloudy with a chance. So let's take a look at what's in store for Sunday. So Saturday evening there you see those showers along the south and west coast pushing into Labrador there as well. And as we go into Sunday, they'll spread a little bit. And what we will see for Sunday, we see a lot of gray clouds here. Temperatures pushing back just a touch, so it won't be as hot. But it'll be really cloudy with a chance of showers for the east coast. We'll pick up some showers possibly for the west and south coasts. Temperatures looking not too bad, though, compared to what we've been seeing. 24 in St. John's, 26 in Gander, mid-20s for the rest of central and west coast, 20 in St. Anthony, cooling off to 19 in the Straits and 22 in Cartwright, where you could see a chance of showers as well, 10 in Nain. So quite cool compared to what we have been seeing. As we move on now to Sunday in the overnight, we see those showers continuing to push through, and we'll see more come in for Labrador. And on Monday, what we will see as you head back into your work week, chance of showers here in St. John's. It'll be a little bit warmer on Monday as we go back to work, but through central, 26, 28 degrees for you folks. Chance of showers, chance of a mix of sun and cloud there, though, as well. We see that little sun icon on top of it. For the south coast, chance of showers there in Marystown as well, 23 and 21 in Port aux Basques. Chance of showers in St. Anthony in 24, and we can see some for coastal Labrador here with your temperatures ranging from 9 to 19 degrees there in coastal Labrador. 25, mix of sun and cloud, chance of showers in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and mix of sun and cloud, and 24 in Lab City. As we move on to our 5-day now, it looks like we have a chance of showers right through your weekend into Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, the middle of your work week, looking half decent there with a mix of sun and cloud. Temperature still in the mid-20s with your overnight lows in the upper teens. As we go on into central and the west coast, it looks like we will have in central a chance of showers on Saturday, some showers on Sunday, a chance on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looking good. Again, temperatures in the mid to upper teens. For western Newfoundland, a chance of showers Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday looking nice, going on up into Labrador. Then eastern Labrador looks like we have a chance of showers pretty much every day, or showers except for Tuesday. And for western Labrador, you've got a chance of showers or showers in your forecast all week for the next 5 days. And I am very sorry to report that, but we've got a beautiful picture here from Buren. Beautiful Buren.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that stunning and serene?
Gorgeous. Yeah. A little bit of fog there in the background.
Indeed.
Gorgeous reflection. Lovely. Thank you so much for sending that in.
Indeed.
Well, that about does it for us on this warm, sunny night in St. John's. But before we go, Sean McCann was a guest on CBC Radio's St. John's Morning Show today.
And he took calls from listeners. One local musician, Damien Follett, he phoned in, and he even requested a tune. Sean, of course, delivered, and we'll leave you with that. Have a great weekend.
Good night.
Good night.
Sean, I just wanted to, I know you're busy there, you guys have the show to do, but just wanted to say thanks for all the work you're doing. You're doing a lot of great work. You're making the world a better place. And if you could play one of my favorite tunes, I'd like to hear Good People, if you could play that for me.
Good People. Okay, I will do that for you because, Damien, I know you're a good people. There's no doubt about it. It's a good song.
Brother.
Keep singing, brother. The thing about this song, I think, is that it's probably more applicable today than it was when we wrote it 15 years ago, you know. The world today can be a scary place, hard to keep your faith in the human race. We're running out of trees and we're running out of space, but we'll never run out of good people. Ask them for a shovel and they'll dig you a hole. Put the coffee on, drag you in from the cold. If you get lost, they'll show you where to go, even give you a ride. Good people. Good people aren't hard to find. Right around the corner at the end of the line, it's true. Good people got peace of mind. I'd like to spend some time with you. You. A man ain't nothing if he ain't got a friend. Down and out without a penny to spend. The bells above will ring in the end. For good people. Good people aren't hard to find. Right around the corner at the end of the line, it's true. Good people got peace of mind. I'd like to spend some time with you. You.